Uh, Baby-led weaning is really part of responsive feeding. What that means is that a child from about 6 months on begins to eat semi-solid and slowly eat solid foods. Baby-led weaning refers to the child self-feeding at a very early age. We recommend that children feed themselves or start to feed themselves, not the whole meal, but pieces of the meal when they are developmentally ready. That means when they're able to pick up small pieces of softened food that they can swallow and bring it to their mouth and move it around their mouth and then be able to swallow it. That happens approximately 6-8 months when they're able to do that. Now, typically, they're not able to eat enough to feed themselves enough to sustain their growth, but there can be dual feeding. So that means the child is involved in picking up food and eating, while the parent or the caregiver is also involved in feeding them. That has the advantage of involving the child in the meal. So the child is feeling as though they're part of the meal and they're involved in exploring the food, touching the food and being part of it, while also accepting food from the caregiver. Because during this time, children are interested in exploring. And if they're just sitting there receiving food, some children get bored. When they get bored, they slow down. They may look around to see what else is going on, and they may give a cue that the caregiver could interpret as they're being finished, as a satiety cue, when it's really not a satiety cue. It's just a cue saying, what else is happening? I'm not really doing much other than having you feed me. So the baby-led weaning or the self-feeding can involve them in a meal and may enable them to stay longer and may also enable them to recognize when they are full, when they have reached satiety and are ready to slow down. We often encourage we always encourage parents to eat with their children. So that means for parents to position their children that they can see the child and the child can see them. Children learn from adults or learn from other people eating. They will observe other children, other people eating, other adults or children want to eat what they're eating, and they'll watch them. At the same time, by positioning them, the caregivers can watch the child and pick up cues. These patterns can make the interaction more the give and take that we want during meal times. So they can enable parents to learn what children's subtle cues are by facing them and by watching them. It also can make mealtime more interesting. We encourage parents to comment, to talk to children during meal times. Things like, ooh, the applesauce is cold, or looks like you like the whatever it is the child is eating. So that it's a pleasant interaction, not just eat, open your mouth, swallow, not just directives, but also comments on what the parent is seeing the child doing.